Hello, Facebook fam. It's so good to see you guys. I know it is late, and so I wanted to hop on for all of my many folks who happen to still be up on the East Coast, and for my West Coast family that is still kind of strolling through your timeline. I do have a thought for your Thursday, and if you read the title of this live, it is all about letting go of control. Hey Steph, how you doing? Good to see you. It's all about just releasing. I have been talking a whole lot this week about surrender. And surrendering for us is a challenging thing to do, partly because we are so conditioned to never give up. We are conditioned in American culture to be on your grind, to always be efforting, to always be pushing and pushing. But I want to talk to you about the notion of release and letting go and surrendering, which is a spiritual principle, which, as you know, God's ways are not our ways. So there is going to be a bit of a wrestle within you because it's going to feel counterintuitive to what you're trying to do and who you are trying to be. But if you are always the one who is striving and pushing and striving, the question that I want to pose to you this evening is, are you even leaving room for God to move? Or are you trying to accomplish it all? So I'm going to give this to you as quick as I can. Hey, Sharon. Hi, Allison. Love you, ladies. Hi, Tony. Because I have just, like I said, it's been a struggle, but this is a necessary struggle. And one of the things that I want you to do is I want you to think about an area of your life where you are trying to make it happen. Okay? You are pushing, you are really trying to make it happen. And even though I was already going to do a live about this, I woke up this morning because y'all know, you can see from all the sunlight, I'm on morning time over here in South Korea. It's Friday morning. I'm about to go to my son's school, help celebrate his birthday. But when I woke up this morning, hey Darius, when I woke up this morning, I woke up to lots of messages, which I always do because I tend to post before I go to bed at night because I know that's when y'all are waking up. And in the morning, I'll wake up to a slew of notifications. And so one of the messages that I got this morning was from one of my sister friends in Seattle who, she tends to send me a business question every now and again, which is all good. It's all good. And she was like, Melissa, I'm really having problems with am I doing enough? Very typical question that we as women have, am I enough? Am I somehow missing it? And she's in a network marketing business, and she's doing what a lot of people tend to do, which is compare herself to other people. And when I look at this person and what they are doing, I wonder, should I be doing that too? I wonder, should I be doing a bunch of Facebook Lives? Should I be posting more? Should I be doing that? Even though she's actually doing well in her business. So one of the things that I would say to you, this is a sidebar, is first of all, sometimes you got to get yourself off of social media. Thank y'all for watching tonight. But sometimes you have to shut it down because if you got so much noise going on around you, you can easily lose your center. You can lose where you are. You can lose, just your internal GPS system. Tony, I hear you, of just being able to be okay with where you are. Because as soon as you start looking at someone else, you will begin to reduce and deduce yourself. And if you're not doing that, sometimes we're doing the opposite. We're looking at other people and we're pumping ourselves up because we're saying, well, I'm better than that. When on your own, within yourself, you are enough. You are enough on your own. So there is an effort that must take place, whether you are in business, whether you are trying to fix your relationships, whether you are, whatever the area of your life is, your health, your finances, your job situation, your parenting, whatever it is that you feel like I need to rein this in, I need to fix it. There is a level of effort. So this is not going to be a Facebook Live that is going to be all zen, where you just sit and you just meditate and somehow, fairy dust is going to fall from the sky and things are going to happen for you. That is not how things happen. So first of all, there has to be let me get divine instruction. So whatever it is that you are trying to do, you must seek direction before you do it. That's a whole nother Facebook Live about just jumping out there, doing stuff because we have seen other people do X, Y, Z. And so we just figure that's what I ought to do too. Those are their instructions. They are not yours. So for those that are trying to ascend in the space of business in particular, you got to be clear about what God is speaking to you about you. You have a calling that you must fulfill for you, which means you got to get your own set of directions. So get your divine instructions and then do what God said do. Don't go and ask a whole bunch of people to co-sign for it, to applaud you and say, oh yeah, girl, that's what I would do. That sounds like a good idea to me. This is not about a good idea. This is about a God idea. And so you need to hear directly from source about what direction you need to be moving in, and then you need to do so accordingly. And so as you have done, after you have done everything that God has been directing you to do, then what do? Then you release. You say, God, I have done everything that you have asked me to do. And then it is your job to step away, to release, to surrender so you can make room for miracles. Part of why you are not getting the results that you are wanting in the area of your life that you are trying to fix and expand is you are doing it all yourself. So you can only go as far as you can go. I have been there. So we are famous for looking at something and saying, I can master that. I can do that. Oh, I have the skills for that. But that is not the space that God is trying to take you in. If you are going to go to the stratosphere, which is the higher level, if you are going to fly at a higher altitude, you're going to have to do it a different way. Last year, I am very clear that God said 2019 is about stepping into the supernatural. And I'm not being woo-woo. I'm really not. I'm talking about the realm of miracles because we are kingdom people. So if you are going to trek in the line of miracles, you better be plugged into source. That's all I'm saying to you, because there will be some things for you to do. And then there are things that you cannot do. And your job is to release. Your job is to surrender. Your job is not to understand. Your job is not to analyze. Your job is not for it to make sense. Your job is to be faithful and obedient. That's it. That's your job. And it can be a hard job, but that is your job if you want the results that will blow your mind and make you say, woo, God did that. But if you just want to be stuck with what you did, then keep on doing what you did. Okay? So, hey, Sawana, good to see you here. So I got a couple little notes that I'm going to share with you. And the first is, I want you to stop trying to control what is not your business to control. Okay? Because some of us, and this is said in love because I'm a recovering control freak. We like things a certain way. We like to have the results that we want to have. But once you have made your request to God, once you have said, God, this is my desire, and you already know it's God's desire to give you the desires of your heart, then it is your job to let God be God. That's it. Let God be God. Stop trying to control what is not your business to control. You need your spouse to change. Stop trying to control what is not your business to control. You're concerned about your children's future and the decisions that they're making. All you can do is plant seeds. You cannot follow those little people around 24/7. You don't have the ability. That's not your job. God already got it covered. God has an aerial view that you don't have. So stop trying to control what you can't control. Your job is to be available for God to use. That's your job. And when you are doing too much, you will not hear divine instruction. You will not hear what God is saying. Your job is to be open and available for love to flow through. Because keep in mind, I'm operating under the principle that you are either living out love or fear. Everything you do, you are doing it from a space of love, or I'm doing it because I don't want something bad to happen, or I'm afraid of this. I better do this because of this. That's fear. But we are not living from the space of fear. We are living from a space of love. Your job is not to understand it. Your job is to just do God's will. And I love Marianne Williamson. You know, she has such a way with words. I love a lot of her books. In her book, Return to Love, she says, God is love, which we know that from 1 John. God is love. And the word will means thought. So when you look at what does it mean to be in God's will, it means to be in God's thoughts. It means to be in God's loving thoughts. And so whatever it is that God is trying to narrowly put you in, which is often where the will of God is, the narrow place, not the wide place, stay in the will of God, knowing that God's will is what's best for you. One of my favorite scriptures, and it's out of the book of Isaiah. I can't remember chapter and verse, but it says, you will hear a voice behind you in the wilderness saying, this is the way, walk in it. Where you are going, you're not going to be able to see it first. You're not going to be able to say, I see how this is about to all play out. Honey, let me tell you, over here in Korea, I am strictly listening. My ear is bent toward the mouth of God because I need to be able to hear God say, this is the way, walk in it. Let me tell you how good God is. And this hopefully will help my business bestie who's out in Seattle and text me that question. All of my retreats are spirit led. So I don't ever hop up and say, I'm going to do a retreat in this place because everybody doing retreats, or, I don't do that. Every place, Cancun, Costa Rica, now Bali, has been divinely directed. Even if the women who follow me say, Melissa, I want to go to this place. I have done that before. Foolishness, because what will happen is it becomes their idea and not God's idea. And I want to do the thing that God can sustain. I have learned, especially in business, people won't sustain you. People won't sustain you, but God will. And so you better be following what God says. And so when I put the flyer out just to even say, I'm going to Bali, because that's what God said. God hadn't given me all the details yet. He just said the number of people and he said the place. And when I woke up the next morning, I had so many people that were messaging me privately saying, Melissa, I want to go. Some people that I don't even have a whole lot of contact with. They were not my private clients. They had not been in a group with me before. And the word also, to kind of bridge this together, at the end of 2019, God said expansion. God said he's going to grow me. He's going to expand me. While I'm over here kicking and screaming on the other side of the world saying, how you going to expand me? You just took me from everything that I know. You just removed me from my comfort zone. You just took me. I'm in a whole nother time zone. Y'all hear me? I'm in a whole nother day. I'm a day ahead of everybody. I can barely have conversations with people unless it's at the top of my morning, because otherwise it's the middle of the night. And so, but I had people literally from all over the country, all different time zones, even in the time zone of Korea. I've only been here 4 months, of people contacting me and saying, I've been watching you. I've been listening to you, and what you say speaks directly to me. Speaks directly to you enough that you want to go somewhere with me for 7 days? That's a God thing. Did I go fishing for them? No, I did not. All I did was do what God says. Sometimes what God is saying to you is not going to make sense. Gravity doesn't make sense, but it works. I live on the 15th floor of a building. I believe gravity works, even though I don't quite understand it. And because I believe it works, I'm not going to go put myself on the outside of this window because I know that gravity, I'm going to end up falling. You don't have to understand and know how God works. All you need to know is he does. So if you can let go, if you can release, if you can stop trying to fix it, this is not 5 years ago where you can work your magic. We're not doing black girl magic over here. We're doing supernatural magic, God magic, where you are not going to use your connections. You are not going to use your intellect. You are not even going to get to use your money. You are going to use the power of God. And when you are plugged into the power of God, there is a radiance that will fall upon you that will make people attracted to you at a level you can't even understand. So for all my business besties, you will have more business when you surrender. The level of your success is dependent on your surrender. The level of you getting what you want is dependent on your surrender, on your willingness to let it go. Because when you let go, that's when God can step in. God is such a gentleman. God is not going to come and bogart the way we like to do. You know, we like, especially as a mom, I'm going to control. I'm going to come over to the sink and I'm going to move you out the way and I'm going to show you how to do dishes. That's not how God operates. God's like, oh, okay, let me know when you're tired. Let me know when you're exhausted. Let me know when you are at the end of yourself. And when you are at the end of yourself, I'm going to show you myself. And so I want you to get into the space where God is saying, I'm ready to show you myself now. I'm ready to show you my glory because now you have surrendered. So I am talking to you because, again, 2019 is your year to experience it like you have never experienced it before. This is your year to get supernatural results where you wake up in the morning and you're like, I don't even know how that happened. I don't even know how my Bali trip is pretty much full. I just announced it not even 2 weeks ago with people. Most of the people, 70% of the people that are going are people that have never even done work with me before. How does that happen other than the power of God? God is able to do what you cannot do, but you got to take your hands off of it and you got to make room for God to do it. Will you move yourself out of the way so you can experience what you are praying to experience? Y'all, you know I took my glasses off. So yes, y'all getting it? Presence, expansion. That's right, expansion. So that is it. That's my word for you guys. Trust me, you don't have to understand it. Many of you y'all are my thinking women, that you're thinking too hard because you're trying to figure out how God is going to do it. You're trying to figure out your impossible situation. And the reason why it's impossible is it's not yours to fix. It's not yours to solve. Did you see the post I put up? That it's like trying to control your life is about as ridiculous as trying to make flowers grow. You can't make a flower grow. There is something that goes on the inside. Your job is to make sure that you water yourself, that you put yourself in a space of light, and it is God who does the growing. So when you remove yourself, come on now, remove yourself from the equation so God can come in and hover in and smother you and make it better than you could do yourself. Like I said, you don't understand the laws of nature, but you respect them. And you don't have to understand how God works, but respect him. Respect God in God's process to say, okay, God, I have done all that I can do. I don't know how to fix it, but I believe you can. And release yourself and then wait for the miracle. Expect the miracle. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So thank you all for your hearts, your feedback. Let me know what area of your life you ready to release. Let me know what area you are tired of, that you've been sitting up trying to manipulate and fix, and God is just sitting there saying, woo, I'd be tired by now. You've been doing that for 5 years. Aren't you tired yet? And what you've been doing for 5 years, God can release and create a miracle in 5 minutes. You just got to be available. You got to be available. So much love to all of you guys. Take care. Have an awesome night's sleep. You're not going to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning wrestling and thinking about how you're going to do it. You're going to pray tonight and know that it is released. And in the morning, I am walking in the expectation that a miracle is on the way. A miracle is on the way. And so I'm looking forward to your praise reports. Love you guys. Like I said, I'm on my way to my son's school, go celebrate his 10th birthday. I'm like, how did that happen? 10 years old. Love you guys. If you didn't catch it from the beginning, go watch this replay. And again, love you guys. Good night. Good night, Alethea, Tony, Allison. Love you. Sonia. Good night, y'all.